Hey guys, this is Adhertan and today we are going to play SHENZHEN. SHENZHEN is the game where we build electronics and I made a fool out of myself by writing lousy code and making silly mistakes. Well, not yet, but well, soon I will, because it's gonna get harder and harder. Let's get back out to email. In the last episode we ended up with a task to build some rubbish audio thing, so we will look into doing that. Product Harmonic Maximization Engine. So, a contract comes in to build a piece of audio kit. Sounds fun, right? I've always liked audio. This client promises that their little box will deliver crisp highs and booming lows, all in perfect balance. Then, I see the advert happens to include the much wanted algorithm that powers this thing. Go and take a look yourself. Carol, I should mention I put a copy of said advert on your desk. Just look in the pile of papers marked supplemental data, since that seemed more appropriate. Carol, I should also mention that we still have to do this, as I said, as it is. Work and all, even when you have to help a dodgy American company make rubbish like this as a premium kit for audiophiles. Right, so for this, actually in the PDF, or in the supplemental data that I have here, there is a document which actually looks like, which basically is like the promo paper from, it's like a promo material from the company that sort of developed this super, quote-unquote, super harmonic maximization algorithm. The equation is totally awesome. It's you take the audio input, you subtract 50, then you multiply the result by 4, and then you add 50 again, which isn't really anything awesome, is it? So we have audio in, a simple input connected to an audio source, we have audio out, a simple output connected to audio receiver, and we have maximized is a simple input connected to a switch. The signal from audio in should be copied to audio out, applying the harmonic maximization algorithm when the maximizer switch is on. Look at the supplemental data, yeah. So, basically it means that, I guess we would need a big one for this. What this means is actually interesting, because Alright, what this means is we connect the audio in here, the maximize thing here. Now this is a bit of a problem, right? Because we don't have any other P output. The solution for this would be either, the simple solution for this is to use this part, which is not recommended, but is still, I think, the actual one you want to use for this to decrease the cost. And the trick that we will be applying, I think, is that we will be writing the output to x2. I think I need to find the documentation for this part again. But if you write, so in order to get output on P2, which is what we want, we need to write 100. So we only need to write to here. And now comes the fun. So what we do is, so what this thing will do is basically we get in a value, right? Then we possibly harmonize it and write it out on x3, which is the digital output. Oh, well, it's X bus, but let's call it digital. And we can't connect digital directly to analog, which is what the P ports are, and the audio is also analog, so we can't do that. So we need to use this whatever this is, converter, a digital I/O expander, that's what it's called, which basically converts from, you basically put in a bit mask, and based on the bit mask it turns on the respective fields. I think if we would actually only send, I think that's, the first one maps on P2 and the last one's map there. So I think that actually if I would send one here, and this should work too, but I'm not sure. I'm not actually sure. This will work for sure. We used it, and the documentation actually explicitly mentioned that, so that should work. That should work. Sorry, pardon me. I'm getting fit. I think I called something outside. Anyway, so what we do is a very simple trick. So we read from the audio input and we put it into the accumulator. That's clear. Now we check if the value in the P P1 input is equal to 100, that means if the maximize button is pushed, and if it is, we apply the maximum harmonization algorithm, so that's audio in minus 50, so we subtract 50, then multiply by 4, and then add 50. And in any case, whether we did or did not perform the harmonic maximization, we write the value of the accumulator into x3. And it turns out this is actually much fewer instructions than I thought it would be, so we can easily use this thing here. Blip. And we don't even need the other register, so cool, go away. And yeah, this is x1 now. Actually, wait a second. I could. Well, the way this is written in the document is that out is in minus 50. It doesn't fit on the screen, so it just says that it's in minus 50 multiplied by 4 plus 50. So what I see in here is that we can actually simplify this, or well, to 8 times 4 minus 200 plus 50, and that goes to in times 4 minus 200 plus 50 is minus 150. So we can actually save one instruction on this by multiplying by 4 first, and then subtracting 150 right away. I'll keep the comment in here just for the reference for the future programmer that will have to do this after me. So that's plus, no, that was minus 50 times 4 plus, fuck, doesn't fit in here, times 4 plus 50. Yep, that looks good. So we actually managed to save one instruction as compared to the input. Let's test this. Part no sleeping. Oh right, yeah, I forgot. We need to sleep after that. Let's test this. Ooh, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Wait, it sort of works. Right, this can only operate on discrete values. So this only outputs 1 or 0, no matter what. So we are actually losing the value. So this is either 0 or 1, but we need lots of intermediate values. So this approach will not work. So we need to do it the other way. And I think I know how. Let's use P1 to actually output. P1 as the final output, and P0 as input, because that allows us lots of discrete values. P0 is the input, that remains. And since we need discrete values in, why doesn't it fit in here? We need discrete values, well, I can do it like this. We need discrete values for the sound, but the maximize is only either 1 or 0. Right, flip this. So we can use the converter. We can use the converter in here to convert values from between 0 and 1. So if we bring power to P2, we get output on the first bit. So this is the first bit, right? So we will be checking not P1, but we will be checking X0, and that should work. Right, so the values work. We check for 0. Now the harmonization is on, so we are stepping multiple code, the maximization part. Now it's off again, so this was good. Yeah, let's simulate further. And that seems to work. Cool, and we actually we kept the production cost low. We and the best possible amount of instructions and the best possible power consumption. So we actually nailed it. Yay! Holy crap, this thing is awesome! I hooked one of these babies up to my stereo at home and it blew the speakers clear off. Does the job, no question. Amazing! Self-driving car stuck in loop. You may be entitled to a settlement. Dear consumer, if you bought a self-driving car in the past 5 years and your car was involved in a rogue loop (RL) incident, you may be entitled to compensation under the settlement to a class action lawsuit filed in the United States Decision Court for the Southern District of California. A rogue loop is defined by the court as a state when a self-driving car appears to disregard humans and continues to drive around, refueling itself when necessary and ignoring orders to stop. If you believe your self-driving car has experienced this condition in the last 5 years, please contact us for more information on how to submit a claim. Blah blah blah. I don't have a car. Infrared sensor. Important. I'm in the process of setting up closer tie-ups with the top global firms and I'm working to secure higher profile work for our company. The first result of this effort is a contract to create an infrared sensor. This allows us to participate in a booming market for passive monitoring stations to detect illegal activities, illegal carbon emissions, illegal growing operations, illegal immigration. If it's against the law and it generates heat, we will detect it. Deliveroo. Okay, let's get to design this thing. So we have a time. It's a simple input connected to DDT2415 clock, providing the current time. So that's this. There's real-time clock. We have a sensor. It's a simple input connected to an infrared sensor. Alarm is a simple output connected to a silent alarm. When the current time equals the on time, choose this. The device should be armed. When the current time equals the off time, the device should be disarmed. Whenever the device is armed and the sensor reads at or above the value of 20, the alarm output should be active. The on and off timers are set by the operator using dials that can be read as XD bus inputs and use numeric values compatible with the DT2415. So we have the clock, we have the sensor, we have the on and off times. I think we'll need the big guy for this. So what we do is we definitely have the sensor here. Here we have our output. Here we need to read from our on time and off time. And here we have a real-time clock. But is real-time clock P state? Is it P pin? Really? Frail. Not good. We'll need to use a converter again, I guess. For here though. So the way we do it is we connect the real-time clock to the P1. And here I already remember that 100 no. Yeah, 1000 generates output on P2. So this is the plan. We will be reading the on time and off times, we will be reading the sensor, we will be reading the RTC, and then we will be writing on and off for the alarm. The alarm again has only 2 values, so we can use the converter here because to turn it off and on and off. So what we do at the beginning is we need to keep the information. So at the beginning we should somehow figure out if we are in the on or off state and if we should activate or deactivate. Let's do it by stirring a bit, a value in the accumulator. So first we will actually need the data registry. So let's read the real-time clock into the data registry. Now let's compare if the data registry is equivalent with the X0, that is, if with the on time. If it is, then write 1 into the accumulator. Also compare if it is not, then compare if that is equal to off time, and if it is not, T is not equal. I can easily turn this off. So if t, let's do it like this, we can optimize later. If it is equal to off time, then we write 0 into the accumulator. And then we do if, well, I say if we, the equality test, if accumulator is 1, if accumulator is 0, we don't even care, and we will jump to sleep 1, and we will loop. If it is however equal to 1, then we need to check if, then we move P0 to that data. Then we check if data is greater than sorry, if data is greater than 19, and if it is, we write 100 to x3. So this way we first check what the current date is. If the date is matches on time, we arm ourselves. If matches off time, we disarm ourselves. Then we check if we are disarmed, then we can just skip to the end and continue from the beginning. If we can do it the other way. Yeah, we can do it the other way. If accumulator is 1, let's do it without the conditional jump. We do this, and this, and then we delete this. Right. So the way we do it is we check if we are actually armed. If we are armed, then we read the value from the sensor. Into the data registry. We compare if the data registry is greater than 19, and if it is, which means we emit the signal to the buzzer, to the alarm. So let's check this verification. Looks good. Oops, but it didn't turn off for some reason. We are not turning it off. All right, because it will keep emitting the value, right, constantly, forever. Right. So what we need to do here is move 0 to x3. Right, to turn it off and on as we need. We have best cost. We have power usage of 474, and we need 11 lines of code. So, you know, let's screw it. Just letting you know that your design for the infrared sensor component was well received by our partners and is set to be integrated into a number of products currently under development by various defense and security firms. Obviously, our performance here opens the door to more jobs of this nature, so thank you for contributing to Longtang's future. Lady Wu. Hang on, we are becoming a defense supplier. Working remotely. From Wu Lily. Know that I will be working remotely today and maybe tomorrow, just in case you are looking for me in the office. Joe. That's weird. I thought you got back from your trip yesterday. Haha. Wu Lily. I did. I've been stuck in a traffic jam on the way back from the airport since then. From Carl. You've been in the same traffic jam for over 24 hours. ... question mark. Wu Lily. When a city grows as fast as SHENZHEN has, it's natural to expect there might be some strains. I'm fine. I have food and water in here. Maybe next time a virtual meeting is better. Okay. Virtual reality buzzer. Hi all. Apologies for the person outside here, but I met this wonderful girl named Xiao Mei. And, well, to make a long story short, she's set to move in with me next month. There's just one small issue, and it's something I thought maybe we could create a product to help with. See, when I'm doing my VR sessions, it's easy for someone to sneak up on me because I can't see or hear them. Awkward, to say at least. This inspired me to think that you should not watch porn on your VR when there's someone in the house. Stupid. This inspired me to think up a product, a simple vibrating buzzer that attaches to a VR headset so it can be felt even during the most intense sequences. Right, haha, intense sequences, haha. Connecting it to a radio controller, I could place the button outside of my study and Xiaomei could buzz me when she needs me, with no chance of me being caught by surprise. What do you think? I'm sure plenty of the VR enthusiasts might find themselves in a similar predicament, and this is a solution inexpensive enough to be an impulse buy. Congrats, David. Note about the radio chip you will be using. Normally, reading X-bus causes the microcontroller to block until data becomes available. However, this radio has a non-blocking X-bus buffer, and the non-blocking buffer will immediately return a value of minus 999 when no data is currently available. Should make it easier. Let's design a buzzer. So the radio RX is a non-blocking X-bus input connected to a radio receiver. Buzzer is a simple output connected to an electromechanical buzzer. When data packet is received over the radio, read it and execute the corresponding command with the following in the following table. So this one is a bit tricky. Sorry. This one is a bit tricky because we will be reading lots of minus 999s, and we need to remember when we read the minus 999, let's call it invalid value. When we read the invalid value, we need to still remember what state we are in, and then we need to do this buzzer sequence based on that. Luckily, it always lets us complete the sequence, so we can work with that. So we will use the new instruction called SLX here on X0. SLX is like sleep, except for it just sleeps until it can read on the X bus. And we MOV, and this is where the tricky part comes in, because we will need one register to remember what the state of the buzzer is, if it's on or off, unless we don't, because we can always sleep for one and then check again. Maybe we don't need actually that, maybe we don't, so let's move X1 to that. Check if dot is 1, and that's all we need to. Right, check if MOV, if TGT that minus 999. So if dot is greater than minus 999, then we move dot into accumulator. Otherwise, we keep the accumulator untouched. Now, if the accumulator is 1, we will simply play the sequence, and the sequence will be 100 into P1, sleep for a second, 0 to P1, sleep for a second. So we always do this, and we sleep. We need to sleep, and because we are right, and this we do conditionally only when this thing is 1. Let's see if that works. This is really theoretical. Part not sleeping. Alright, let's execute the sleep unconditionally, and let's remove this sleep. That should actually be better. So we read. Now we actually read 1. We move it into accumulator, and we test it. It is there, so we play the sound, turn it off, play the sound, and check again. Okay. Okay, that seems to work. Yay, it works. Pardon. We were a bit too expensive. We needed 8 lines of code. That's good. That's better than average. We needed more power though. That's more than average. And we were more expensive than average. So can we squeeze this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. So we can squeeze it into this one. The problem is we only have a single register in here. We only have the accumulator, we don't have that registry where we could temporarily store this. So we may need to be a bit more clever how to do this. Because, right, we don't have a way to remove the sign, so we just need to check if it is not 0. Ooh, this actually works! Yes! This actually works. The question is if this is actually more optimal. It is definitely cheaper. It consumes more energy than before. We used 100 before, now we need 206, which is below average, right? Most people need this amount of energy, so we are above the average. But I guess most people then again they use this thing, which they use the 2 and lines of code. We need a bit more lines of code. We are within the average. So I guess most people need less energy, but then they use the two registry approach. So while I only managed to finally figure out the 1 registry approach, where what we do is we play with the 2 remaining, we use 2 remaining registry, the assembly instructions that we haven't used yet, and that's DST and DGT. So what DST does is the DST takes the digit of the given registry. No, it takes the digit of whatever is in. No, sorry. It takes the digit of the x0, the first digit of the x. No, sorry. Again. It takes the first. It takes the first digit of, so DST takes in this case takes the first digit of the x0 of the input and puts it as the first digit of the accumulator, or in this case it's a digit with index 1, so actually the second digit. So this happens, so it changes to, it also carries, for some reasons it also carries the sign, so the first digit, the digit with index 1 in x0 now is 9, and since it's minus, it carries the minus over, so, and changes this in the accumulator, so it goes from 0 to 9, 0. We can ignore the sign easily. Then we compare if it is if the TLT, if the account is less than 0, which means if it is actually minus 90, then if it is, then we DGT 0, that is, we restore, we use the 0th, the first digit of the accumulator, and store that in the accumulator. So what we do is basically here is we read the digit that is in here and we store it into the first digit, or the second digit in this case, the first index in the accumulator, and then if it is 9, then we restore whatever was on the 0th index, the first digit in the accumulator before. So in this case, it is less than 9, it is less than 0, so we restore the 0th digit. So see, it goes back to 0, and then we skip it. Now we skip it again, and now we read 1, which means we store 1 into the accumulator on the second position. So it's on 1, 0. Now we compare it. If this is less than 0, it is not, it is actually more than 10. So what happens here is when this is basically this is above 0, so it's 0 or 1, but it is not less than 0, so it is 0 or 1, then we know it is the valid number that we want to use, and we use the first digit, or the digit with index 1, so the second digit of the accumulator, and replace basically what's in there. So now it gets rewritten to 1, and then we actually execute this, right? And then when we read again, we go to minus 91, and we will use the, so that's minus again, so we rewrite it to minus, it gets rewritten to minus 1 for some reason, but there's no problem, we cope with that. It's minus 1 and 1, we can deal with it by this TEQ accumulator 0, and then we handle it in the negative branch. And yeah, now we got 0 again, so this goes rewritten to 0 and minus 90, and we are back to how it was. So this actually works. I'm super happy. We did some compromises, but this is, for me, is personally interesting because previously I wasn't actually able to do this within the 3 what's that, is it yen? I think it's yen, within the 3 yen limit. I always needed 2 registries, so I'm super proud of myself that I managed to do it with a single registry. Now, David, wonderful, this is exactly as I had imagined it. Okay, and this took way too long. Well, I edited some of it down, so I still hope you enjoyed this episode, even though it took me way too long to figure this out. If you like this, please leave a like, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Bye bye!